Hello everyone, welcome to Amina Jimoh Show. Sorry for all the technical difficulties we had. Things happen, so thank you for being here. And we do have a very important guest with us today. And I'm sure a lot of you from Nigeria would be familiar with the person I'm talking about. His name is His Excellency Dr. Favor Ayudele. He is Nigerian presidential aspirant. I would let him introduce himself, please. Sir, go ahead and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. A wonderful host. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure having me here today. Like I just put put it up on one of my platform that it's been a while that I get this invite. Uh, so thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Um, yeah. So like you rightly said, by the grace of God, I'm the founder of African Intellectual Resource Organization. At the same time, the vision bearer of Vision Africa. And we've done some quite number of, you know, projects, events, and the rest, to get people going because it's not actually easy, especially
Absolutely.
these days that a lot of things is going on in the world.
Right.
So, yeah, so thank you for having me here once again. And I believe today we will enjoy it ourselves and everything will be brilliant. So, and
Absolutely.
by the way, you're looking great. You are
Thank
looking
you.
great, and thank you for
Thank
having me
you.
once again.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're going to be talking on value added relationship. So if you could go ahead and tell us more about that, that would be great.
Awesome. Yes. When you came up with this topic and for today's program, which is very great, I was just thinking in my mind the actual aspect that I may want to, teach one or two things, you know, for audience and for people generally to understand what relationship is all about. And a lot of people, they actually, they misconstrue the extent of relationship, the importance of relationship, the relevance of it, and why it should happen. And to me, there is nothing on the surface of the earth that you want to do without relationship.
Absolutely.
So business wise, home wise, I'm talking about marriage and the rest, even to get yourself to associate yourself with some individuals across the world, it's all about relationship. And
Absolutely.
how important your relationship is determine how level, the level at which you will go in life. So, and how you handle your relationship as well. So it is not about two people alone coming together, you know, having some kind of things to do, but at the same time, it has to do with what you value in the life of that person, what you see in the life of that person, how you see it, your perspective in the life of that person really really matters. So what we are discussing today is not just a relationship. I know everybody, a lot of people, we are familiar with the word relationship. Of course, it's our day-to-day activities and day-to-day, phenomenon, what we engage in, what we see on social media, starting from home, society, all over the world. We are familiar with that. And but there's a lot to it. There's lots to this particular term. There's lots to this particular, you know, um, word that people can get wrong They can misuse it. They can misunderstand it. They can also destroy it. It can be destroyed. It can be sustained. It can be packaged. Whatever it depends on the people that is coming into it. So when we're talking about relationship is beautiful with you know when it is being handled with two beautiful people with good heart, beautiful people with beautiful heart, if I should call it like that. So we must understand why we need to engage in value added relationship. So understanding to me is also part of what relationship is all about, and understanding that is the umbrella of maturity. And if you are coming into a relationship, because that determines everything in life, determine how you're going to uh, go from one level to another level. So it is not only your skills, or it is not only things that has to do with what you think you are bringing on the table. It has to do with the driving force of your very humble self and even your partner. So, and in my own little word of understanding and how we've been able to, dig deep, the nitty gritty of relationship is just with two genders. I'm talking about male and female. So, and people itself, when you say people is about male and female. And of course, we have relationship with men, women and women. I'm not talking about the other way around. I'm talking about the friendly part. The friendly part, like yourself, you're my friend, and it has to do with value, capital. So, what we're going to experience today, we're going to experience how we should manage our relationship better than, you know, the way we are be handling it. A lot of people are discarded. A lot of people are not enjoying their relationship because of what they believe it should be. Meanwhile, it's more. There's more to it. There's a lot of package that relationship carries. So when you're talking about the difference, in between, I mean, let me use the word the lacuna between two individuals. It's about what the person perceive in yourself or what the other person perceive in his or herself. So what we will experience today is how to, sustain personalities, how to sustain the ideology behind relationship, and the aspect at which we want to go that will help us to know the worth of relationship is what we're about to also discuss. So maturity, let me start from here, that maturity is all about common sense. So if two people are coming to relationship, you must understand that your level of understanding is also different from the level of understanding of other person or the second fellow. So, and this cut across all aspects. Business, like I said, in association, organization, company, and the rest, in government, all over the world, maturity has to be in the realm of getting to know what you should ditch out and why you should ditch it out and the reason behind your motive. All these things, like I said, is packaged in itself and on its own. So value added relationship, like I said, is going to be practical, is a practical, methodology application, is what I believe in, is what is driving me, is what helps me to be where I am today. And it somehow is a sacrificial thing. A lot of people don't know what value is even about. They don't know the definition. We talked about value. So when I asked some people recently that what is value, and they gave me that something that is valuable, of course. But it's beyond that. It's not something that is only valuable. Value itself is a kind of virtue that everybody or every man on the surface of the earth, I'm talking about man and woman, male and female, possesses to, you know, to an extent that people begin to see your worth. People begin to see how important you are. People begin to see how they can relate with you. People begin to see how they can attach themselves, how they can be so comfortable with you because of what you are dishing out. So, and when two people, in terms of real relationship that has to do with mutuality, that has to do with emotions, that has to do with other aspects, when they are coming together, there must be this level of high level of understanding that this person are not just going into this relationship because of a particular attachment. But let me stop here. I want to believe that we have four different type of friendship. you know Number one, friendship by mouth. Number two, friendship by benefit. Number three, friendship by heart. And number four, friendship by destiny. So this also is what relationship based on. A lot of people say they like you because maybe they just see your appearance. They just see what you are made up of. They just see how you are, you used to dance, your show and the rest. But that is how it is. But they are not coming closer, and that is friendship by mouth. Oh, I like you. You are doing good. You are doing that. You are doing. Oh, that's all. Some people are like that, and other people will go by benefit. Once they see what to gain from you, they said, okay, I want to be your friend. So, and when they said, "Oh, I want to be your friend," and at the end of the day, they don't see what they are gaining again. Maybe over time, somehow something happened. They withdraw themselves and begin to like, "Oh, wow, I can't get this thing again." So that is friendship by mouth. Why friendship by heart? It has to do with what you really think of to do. That means that you are not coming to that relationship, by what to receive. You are coming to that relationship by what to give. So it is what to give into the relationship that prepares you, or that rightly, gets you into that. So these are the things that people must understand. So most cases, the friendship by heart translate into friendship by destiny. And the destiny aspect, there's nobody that can actually define it, that this is how it should be, this is the process it should go. But when you sit down and you process everything, you begin to see the value that the person has actually added over time into your life, and begin to, oh wow, it's like this person is unique on its own. And you will be convinced that I can't just but you know I can't just but have something more closer, something achievable, something more interesting with this fellow. And it could be man and man, or man and man, or woman and woman. And when I'm talking about woman and woman this time around, I'm not talking about other aspect of relationship. I'm talking about mutual relationship, something that is platonic level, not that all these the homosexuality, all sorts of. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about friendship that has to do with bringing something more valuable to the table. So, what are we going to achieve today to ensure that we get it right? Because I discovered that a lot of people are getting it wrong. And if I had to talk about marriage, if I had to talk about the real core that people really want to listen to, marriage of a thing, and you begin to see that it gets toughened, and then it's like a muddy water, and people begin to say that we are not compatible. In the first place, you are not compatible, and you should not, and you will not. you know it's because you are coming from different background, you are coming from different perspective, different opinion, different views, different culture, different this. So there's no how you can be compatible. As a matter of fact, the incompatibility of individuals make you awesome together, or let me just say makes you compatible. You cannot be plus in the mathematical level and the other person is also plus and be compatible. No. If you are plus and the other person is negative. That is what compatibility is all about. So you must understand that aspect, that your uniqueness and the uniqueness of other person is different. And when you bring the two uniqueness together, wow. So now we are talking about value added relationship. And what it implies is that whatever thing that you are uniquely carried as a person that really made you should be worth other people will be, I mean, should be yearning now. So what should I be yearning? What should I be expecting? What should I be, considering the fact that this is an attractive object. This is a magnetic object between me and this person. And that is, to me, is what configured a man in a relationship. So number one, the value aspect is a virtue, like I said, a unique virtue indeed, starting from educational configuration. How educated are you? And when we are talking about education, I'm not actually talking about the one you the one that is dogmatic, the one you are plugged in, you know, through your conventional way, that is going to school from primary one, primary two, primary three, and secondary school, in university. I'm not talking about that. It's good to go on that route anyway. But I'm talking about being educated, being sound, being mentally sound. Your perspective is sound. And that is where the wisdom they call or maturity is all about. Your maturity always comes from the aspect of wisdom. That, oh wow, I love the way this man or this person handled this issue. And that is what maturity is all about. And there is a time, I mean, there was a time I did a program, an article on conversation intelligence. So handling some kind of things, shows how educated you are. That is the kind of person I appreciate much more than the people that you know went to school and they could not actually reason properly. Then you begin to think about it, that ṣé ẹni lọ sí school ṣá, so ṣé ó wà educated ṣá. So sorry, I spoke you about that. So what I'm trying to say is that you mean this person actually went to school. You mean school passed through this person. The way the person reason, it will be disgusting to actually relate. It will not add up. So the value aspect of it is when you are educationally configured. That is when you are well trained and you train yourself from all aspects of life, so that you will begin to see good thing in the life of others, in the life of the person that you are relating with. And that is what relationship relates. Relationship is ability to relate properly, respectfully, maturely, perspectively, objectively, technically, mechanically, spiritually, environmentally, in all aspects, and you are good at it. So in that in the configuration that I'm talking about, we have skills, we have gifts, we have talent, we have scientific knowledge. Scientific knowledge now based on the formal and informal education. So what you contain and how you contain it, the level at which you have been able to gather all these things, we create a channel for you to add to someone's life. So if you are the type that you are not adding anything to that person's life with what I have just said, then it is no more value added relationship. It's either you come by mouth or you come by benefit. So let me continue and press further on the value that it is embedded in adding into a relationship. It's called integrity, loyalty, and dignity. So, what are the level that you have been engaging on before that people could easily relate with you and say, wow, that person has this level of integrity? And if two people are coming to a relationship, mind you, I'm not talking about the marriage itself now. I'm talking about what starts marriage, what starts relationship, you know, what starts two people coming together on a very good note. Then, if you don't have this level of integrity, that is, can I trust you? Can I trust you? Can I actually put my life in your hand? Can I actually, be there for you? Can you actually be there for me?
or be vulnerable around you. Oops. I think we lost him. What I said, okay, he's back. I was
Yes, I'm back.
just
Thank
having the
you.
technical glitch again. I was like, oops. I was just saying, being able to be vulnerable around that person.
Exactly. Okay, that's it. So, can I trust you? Exactly. Can I trust you? Can I put my life in your hands? Can you defend me? Can you, you know, all these things is a value-added relationship. We are talking about here. When you don't have all these things, the level of distrust, and if I would talk about trust, I can use 3, 4, 5 days talking about trust alone. But because of our time, we will not be able to go deeper on that because there's still there's still this element of this perspective that I want to share with every one of us, this evening. So the loyalty aspect as well is very, very important. How loyal are you? How can your loyalty be tested? Can your loyalty be tested? Are you actually for real? So if you are not for real, then there's no point of engaging into something that is much, much more has to do with destiny aspect, And business wise, people take relationship for granted. They wouldn't know that that is what makes man. They don't know that that is actually that what configure man, what make man man. When I'm talking about man, I'm talking about both male and female. That is what life is all about, relationship. And if you don't know how to build relationship, forget about being alive. Because that is what life is based on. That is the level at which we are operating. People don't know how to manage and sustain relationship. So I think it is high time that we start thinking about loyalty. And if two people are working together and they're not loyal, for example, if I call you my best friend, are you actually my own best friend? Did you have best friend somewhere? you know
Or would
I will
you
be
take
calling
the
you my
bullet
best
for
friend.
me? Would you take the bullet for me, kind of?
Will you take a bullet for me? Exactly.
Exactly.
Will you take a bullet for me? And that is it. That is the key. And if somebody says, "Well, sorry, I can't take a bullet for you," then there's no point of doing some certain things, together, per se. That doesn't mean that you won't do one or two things, but the level at which we do it is going to be minimal. It's going to be on a very, very high level.
Because
It's not
then
going
you
to
know
be
your
deep.
place. You know your place in that
Exactly.
person's life, and you know how
in,
to
in
adjust
that person.
accordingly, and be like, okay, maybe I'm going to continue with this person, or maybe this person is just too toxic, and I just have to withdraw.
Exactly. So that is it. So the dignity now, the third aspect of this area is dignity. Are you a dignified person? Can you be dignified? Can you be presented? Can you be proud of? Can you be, work with? Can I, all these things is involved in the value added relationships. It's involved it. We have to learn how to be dignified. We need to learn, and your president, your antecedent, your precedence has all this requirement, this wonderful thing. It's involving it. So now the another level of value added relationship is perspective. Perspective. If you are the type that your perspective is poor, I don't think that we'll be able to relate together. And I don't think we will be able to go far. What do I mean by when someone's perspective is poor? Meaning, I am going B, you are going D. I am saying that, do you know that A, I mean, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, and you are saying 1 plus 1 is equal to 13. I was like, I would be like, okay, what can you calculate? Can you give me why it is 13? So if you cannot give me 1 plus 1 is equal to 13, like you rightly said, then we are not having this, we are not on the same pedestal. We can't relate, we can't go far. If it is all the time, if it is coming often, and you are giving me such kind of level of reasoning, then we can really go far. We are talking about value added relationships. Then mission. What is your mission in that relationship? Do you have an hidden agenda? Is your agenda so pure, so open? Your mission in life at the same time has to do with what you are bringing on the table. If you don't have a good mission, then there's no point of having this kind of platform that we call relationship. So your mission must be solid, pure. Let me use the word holy. What I mean by holy, that is, it's well defined, is redefined, is purified. Your mission is interesting. Your mission can be
Intentional.
accommodative.
Like you have
You
to be
said
intentional to have good
you
intention.
have to be
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm trying to use this level, this you know this comprehensive level of getting into what we need to understand. So the other aspect is purpose. What is your purpose in having relationship? So if your purpose is through wealth, is through or is for wealth, is for money, is for sex, is for getting the what do you call it now, getting the wealth of that person, claiming the wealth of that person, then you are not having value added relationships. So if your purpose is not genuine, if you're not having a very beautiful purpose, then forget about having relationship. And mind you, there's nobody that can live alone. What I mean by live alone, nobody can be isolated from reality of life. So you must be able to come in such a way that if you're expecting 100% from your partner, yourself must also, you should get ready of ditching out 100%, if not more than that. So don't expect 100% from your partner and you'll be ditching out 20%. Then it is no more value added relationship. Don't expect giving out 20 when your partner will be giving out 50. Don't expect giving out 30 when your partner will be giving out of 70. It doesn't work out. It won't be okay. It's just like the weight will be so heavy on that person. Now, what is your passion? What drives you? What is your passion? I'm coming to that question, because there's a question that it's so important that we must answer. I just said the question, but we need to rephrase the question again. Then what is your plan? I mean, passion and your plan. What what is the essence at which that you want to reason and you want to do things? What is your plan for this relationship? Why are you coming to my life? This has to be defined. Why are we making this business? What is the essence of this? So a lot of questions involve about passion and plan. Because if you have a good plan, you have a very beautiful passion to drive it. Your plan in a relationship matters. What do you really want? What is your you know what configure your ideology? What is your ideology about this relationship? So when you don't have that, then there's no point of having this relationship. Now, I'm going to talk about one that is very, very critical to me, and that's what is taking me around the world. But before then, I see a lot of guys when they say, what interests you in the life of this person, or what is your spec? And they begin to mention, I want somebody that is tall, I want somebody that has boots, I want somebody that have what do you call it now, nyansh, all manner of language or stuff, slang. I want a dark person. I want slim person. I want bust. Oh, sort of. These are not what we give you. What you really want. Yes, it is good to have a very beautiful appearance. It is good, to have all those things. Of course, God created us beautifully. So there's nobody that is not beautiful. I'm using the word beautiful for both men and women. There's nobody that is not beautiful. We are all beautiful. Our heart is beautiful. This is beautiful. That is God's creation. And that is we, the creatures, that we should represent. We should represent the beauty of God. So that shouldn't be in the question of who to relate, because if you're thinking of the height, that height might be a deceit. If you're thinking that, oh, my woman needs to be very tall, and this, what if your woman is not having the value that is expected to invest into that person deceive you? So also the man. Oh, I need a man that is very dark, chocolate lips, this and that, and tall. Women, I don't know what happened to women. They always like to have tall men. I don't know. Maybe I have to find out and see, the generic aspect and why women likes these tall individuals. I'm praying maybe God will give me more extending on that. But that shouldn't be. What is the capacity of this person that you say, I mean, that you are looking at to be the tall person that is what you want? Of the person determines how where your relationship will go. So it's not in tallness, it's not in height, it's not in breadth, it's not in size, it's not in anything, but it's in inward. Inward, that is it. So now the other thing I'm talking about is vision. We are talking about value added relationships. Vision is very, very important. When you don't have a man or a woman that has a vision, then there's no point of coming close to that person. One thing that attracts me to anybody in this world is that I will first of all ask, what is your vision? What is taking you out of your comfort zone? What is taking you out of your familiar zone? What is taking you out of dogmatism? What is taking you out of all the so you must have a vision that drives you. You must have a vision that you are following. So this vision embedded everything that you can ever think of. That is where you'll be able to plan. That is where you'll be able to have a passion. That is where you'll be able to have a purpose. That is where you'll be able to have a very good perspective. That is where your mission, your assignment is. That is where you'll be able to have all these things. Now, another thing is the two things I'm going to talk before I ask my question is that your value is your worth. Your value is your worth. So, what I mean by your value is the worth, it is worth actually I'm looking for, because if you don't have that worth, that solid thing in yourself, then there's no point of having that. Then there won't be anything called value added relationship. Are you with me? So your worth now is your network, is your connection, your position, your organization, peers. Who do you relate with? What are you contributing into the society? What is really actually the aspect at which people get attracted to you? What is your worth? What are you ditching out? And another part of the worth that makes you to be an outstanding fellow is your intellectual capacity. So if you do not have something upstairs, it will be very difficult for me to relate with you. And that should be what man should be looking for in woman, and what woman should be looking out for in a man. This is what value added relationship is all about. I want to be able to contribute to your life. I'm not saying you have to be 100% okay intellectually, because we are not created the same way, but I want to be able to contribute into your life, to repackage you, to redefine you, to make you fulfill your purpose. I was talking about mission at that time. So if I am not adding things to your life that you could see that for the past 2, 3 months, 2, 3 weeks, 2, 3 days, or 2, 3 hours that I've been working with this person, I've never gained anything, then forget about that relationship. I've never received anything. Receive anything, I'm not talking about flower. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about frame. Although it's all part of it. Gift, is part of it. But beyond that, because if you get close to someone because of all these petty things, your value get looked down on. your value will not be appreciated. What if there's no money at the end of the day? When I was talking about loyalty, what if there's no money at the end of the day? Will you still continue in that relationship?
Yo, Jackpot.
What if there's no thank you. What if there's no
Sorry,
this
meaning
the
to run
boots?
away for the other viewers that are watching from all over the world.
Thank you. What if there's no money? What if there's no car? What if there's no house that you were looking at before? What if the nyash has become so tiny, like kangaroo's nyash? What if the boot is no more there, has become flat? What if, this what if I said maturity is what if? What is is common sense. Common sense that even me, I can't remain like this forever. This wonderful long nose, a time will come that it will become something else. My body, my whatever, the fingers you're looking at, somebody will say, "Oh, wow, I love your fingers." Somehow, what if one of the finger, God forbid, one of the finger, two, three, cut off, pium, will you still like me? Will you still appreciate me?
I think
What if
that's
the
where
smile?
the taste of the loyalty comes in. That's where you'd know if a person is for you or if they were with
Mhm.
you just for the fun of it all through.
Exactly. So these are the things that value added relationship is all about. You don't look you don't look at the peripheral aspect of a person. I talked about connections. I talked about net worth, networking. I talked about all these things. They are all well packaged. Relationship, value added relationship is a well packaged box that people should embrace. Instead of looking at the shape of the box, there are things loaded inside that box. So now, and I said, I want to ask a question that I've asked several, you know, many in between of this conversation, that is what drives you. What drives you? Is it money? Is it influence? Is it social media? Is it beauty? Is it handsomeness? Is it wealth? You know, what drives you in relationship? What drives you matters. To me, value is what drives me. To me, value is what should drive everybody. Because a time will come that we will no longer have what we were having before. In fact, you will see some people, they will tell you that I want to travel, I want to travel everywhere in the world. A time will come that you will not be able to travel anymore. There will be a time that you will sit down in a place. Why don't you think about those times? Yes, it's good to travel. It's good to enjoy yourself. It's good to do all those things. But always remember that there is time for everything. Always. So when you know that there is time for everything, then you will now begin to think that, okay, a time will also come that I'm going to die or that I will die. Let me put it straight. So when you are having a relationship, consider the fact that you are coming to build that person, not to destroy that person. That is what value added relationship is all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe let me pause here. If you have a question, and I think I've explained it to a large, or let me just say to an extent. And I think one of these things, sorry, before I go, um, there's what I put down here. Value is also about, or let me say, value added relationship is all about management and leadership skills. Management and leadership skills. And this is very, very, very important in a relationship. How do you manage your relationship? How do you consider the faults? Because we are not perfect, and we cannot grow without fault, without mistake, without all these things. So how do you manage resources? How do you manage that person? How do you manage me? How will you be able to manage me? How will I be able to manage you? Is very, very important. And that aspect of management is what leadership comes in. So it is what we call self-leadership. So self-leadership is ability to see beyond yourself. And that is what relationship should entail. What you should be able to see beyond yourself. You should be able to take care of others more than yourself. As a matter of fact, the person or the thing to invest in life is human being. Thank you, Madam Hajia, Your Excellency.
Thank you
God
so
bless you.
much, His Excellency. We do really appreciate you. It was a big honor for you to be here with all the words of
Thank you.
wisdom you've given us today. Because a lot of people think these days, like you said, it's not working. She does not have the books. She does not have the yash anymore, or he's not loaded anymore. I don't need to be with him. I don't need to be with her. So things are getting messy out there now, and I think I always say confused generation is what I call our generation, because a lot of things that are happening, it's like people can wake up and even kill their own parents just for money these days. So it's crazy. Not to talk about you being in a relationship with someone. But I think with our society, because I come from two different backgrounds, I'm a Nigerian and also an American. So what I see with my other Nigerian society is that we tend to not cover things that we are supposed to talk about, or sometimes we do talk about it, and people will come in maybe to that union and change things. Like Yoruba will say, um, uh, it's like, okay, I forgot what I wanted to say in Yoruba, but when I remember, I'll say it again. But it's like, okay, I said something and I'm not saying it again, and like I'm not doing it again. I can't remember how they usually say that, but it will come back. So this is the thing: people need to start talking about finances when they're going into the relationship. What are we going to do about finances? What are we going to do about children? How many children are we going to have? You know, what are you? Okay, are you working? Are you going to be a stay-home dad, or are you going to be a stay-home mom? Things like that. I find out that African society, we don't go into that. I'm a Muslim also. Islamically, with the way the religion is, it's like a man is supposed to provide for a woman. But is it happening right now? I don't see it happening anymore. So those things have to be considered when people are coming into the relationship, because then some people would say, okay, I remember the Yoruba thing. Èmi ni mo ní pé Adiogun, èmi dẹ̀ ni mo ní Adiogun mọ́. Did I say it right? My Yoruba is Jaku Jaku, but I think I got what I wanted to say. So it's like
Okay.
a man will promise you heaven and earth, sometime. And then bingo, you're married to him. Then he tells you that, I mean, like I said that and I'm not doing it anymore. So do your worst, technically. So that's where people start with the betrayal. And if you're not ready to deal with it, then I'll go for the next person who is going to take my bullshit, you know? So that's
Hmm.
what I find people doing, even women. You find out that you find married women having affairs just because of all this lack of understanding. There's no communication in that relationship. So it's like people hide themselves because of our community, our society, because they want to look good. So instead of communicating with your husband that, okay, this is how I want things to be done, but because of the way maybe an African man, I would use Africa, would look at you, because culturally we do things differently from the way Americans would do it. An American woman can tell you, kiss me here. And a Nigerian woman wants that, but the fear of what is he going to think? Is that what you have been doing with your ex, or is that how you've been doing it with other people? Would make her not to be able to voice out because of fear of the judgment. And then we find out that people end up being with people that are, well, they call it spec, like you said. She's not my spec, he's not my spec. So it's like you find out that a man marries a woman and tells her he wants her to wear hijab. But he's out there chasing people that are like half naked. So it's like that's why I call it a crazy generation. Like I don't know what's going on, you know? But with this topic, I think people need to start talking about things, everything you explained, because that's what keeps that relationship. Even without the marriage, when we talk about friendship with our friends, because we talked about how people could turn out to be toxic. It's like you're with people and then maybe problem come, or maybe they feel they're not getting what they've been getting from you. Then it's like the jackpot means run away. So it's like that loyalty that we used to see during our parents' time, it's going away. I don't know how you think we can talk about this to maybe, how would I say it? How can we bring that
Oh,
back
okay.
into our
We
society?
can. Thank you. Thank you, Hajia. You've spoken well, and that is why this kind of conversation is very, very important. To get us back to base. Let's go back to base. Let's go back to where I'm not talking about archaic perspective. I'm not talking about dogmatic level of reasoning. I'm talking about the reality that makes our father, that made our father to be like, wow, you know, we were produced by these forefathers and we become so sound today. The fact that some things inside our youth, generally, I'm not talking about Nigerian or African alone, I'm talking about generally all over the world. Because what Westerns are doing, if thank God you are in United States, what they are doing is sickling. Where you begin to, and I watched a particular clip, and the lady was saying that she should be contacted, that her mom should have contacted her before her fetus was conceived, that she needed to be contacted, and then she needed to have her mom needed to ask her before she can be conceived and given birth to. So such kind of reasoning, I was like, what? So some people said they wouldn't they have discovered that they don't need to walk with their legs, so they want to go and amputate their legs. Some people said, I don't feel like having eyes anymore. My eyes, I'm not supposed to be born with eyes. And they remove their eyes. So a lot of things, are quite happening all over the world. But let me come back to what you were saying. We need this kind of orientation. We need this kind of platform. We need this kind of conversation. We need this. And then we need people that will come to your show that will also reason along. And with that time, and with commitment and consistency and everything, we will get it right. We can get it right just today. Like I said, that house can be easily, I mean, it is very difficult to build a house, but it's very easy to pull it down. So what is your plan when you are coming to relationship? Are you coming to build a relationship, or you are coming to lower the relationship? You are coming to mar the relationship, you are coming to destroy the relationship. And when a relationship is destroyed, it means it is not the relationship that is destroyed, it is your personality that you are unable to maintain. That relationship itself, because it's vague, relationship is vague in itself, but we are the one that makes it workable. The working plan of two people is the fact that we are the one engaging our character, our behavior, and everything that has to do with it. We are the one doing that. So my dear friend, what we must do is very, very simple. uh, the way social media is disengaging the comprehension of our youth and relationships and marriages, some people decide now to put all their life on social media. Everything they are just on social media. They want people to see them. They want people to know what they're doing in their bedroom, in their this, in their that. So that's also contribute to a level of reasoning that some people will be saying, and they will be using it as a competition. They will also be using as a comparison, as a level of engagement with their, I mean, for their relationships. So if you are not getting the way Mr. B is doing his own, I'm not going to be part of this relationship. But it doesn't work that way. And that is why I call it value added. Oh, sister B, like your show now, you dance, that's your own package, that's your own brand, that's the way you want to appear. And others will be looking at you and say, okay, I want to also be dancing like so person is dancing. No, why can't you find your own way of, ditching out things? You have to understand that you are unique in yourself. So these are the things that is very, very important that we have to know. But people are on a copycat lane now. They are very lazy to discover themselves. They are very, very, very lazy. They don't think they don't think beyond what is actually happening. They think the way others are thinking, or they think with what they see. They think because of what is happening around them. So this trajectory needs to change, and we are the one that must change it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. If you guys have any questions, you can bring it over so that way we can cover it. If we do not have any questions, we would like to end it here. Thank you, everyone. And I do know that we talked about doing a giveaway on the Facebook platform. So we will actually have to look into that because I do know that we had technical difficulties earlier on when I and His Excellency were trying to get in from the other link. So unfortunately, we would not be able to announce the giveaway on the YouTube live right now because we would have to go back and look at where we had the glitch and all that to see how many of our members were there and do things the right way. Because we believe that honor should be given to who honor is due to. We don't just hand things over to, okay, like the when I say the Nigerian way, sorry to say that, in picking the person you know. So there were things that were said that you had to do to get the giveaway. So we would review that and get back to you. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I do appreciate you. And I hope that
Thank you.
you will come back again to Amina Jimoh Show. And thank you for all the wonderful, impactful message you gave today. I do really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm grateful.
Thank you so much, sir. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. I don't think they have any questions, and would end it here. Have a good one, and
Yeah.
stay well and stay blessed.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.